Welcome to Towards 2027, a podcast that explores the intricacies of the Nigeria politics and governance as we count down to the next general elections. Today we have with us Dr. Maurice Ibe, the Group Executive Chairman, CEO, the Bayham Group, who brings his wealth of experience in leadership and public policy to the conversation. My name is Aishat Saliu, your host. Dr. Maurice, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. So as we all can see, the government is already working towards 2027. We can see some posters on our way as we're driving. And the citizens are also looking forward to a positive change come 2027. So I would like to ask, what would you say is the most pressing issue facing the political landscape as we head into 2027? And how do you propose we resolve these issues?
Thank you so very much for the question, and again, thank you for having me on the program.
You're welcome.
First and foremost, I will say or begin by saying that it's very unfortunate that our politicians are already politicking towards 2027. Barely 2 years after they were elected into office, yes. Nigerians are going through some of the worst economic times since the beginning of, probably since independence. People cannot put a roof over their head. Citizens cannot afford 3 square meals a day. They can't pay for their children's school fees. They can't transport themselves from one end of the country to another. And we are already talking about 2027. It is unfortunate, it's unnecessary, it's reprehensible, it is politically reprehensible that politicians, instead of focusing on the reasons why they were elected, delivering the dividends of democracy to the population, making sure people can at least economically survive in a country like this. Sure. They are politicking towards 2027, barely 2 years after they were elected. As far as I'm concerned, I'm not a politician. I've never been a card-carrying member of a political party. Okay. And I can pretty much look anybody with a straight face and tell you that what they are doing is unconscionable. What every politician in Nigeria today should focus on is how do you deliver good economic dividends to the population? Okay. How do you assuage their sufferings? How do you put food on their table? How do you make sure that the Nigerians who elected you are happy? How do you make sure the Nigerians who elected you can at least afford health care for their children and themselves, have a roof over their head, and survive for a better tomorrow? As far as I'm concerned, that's what we should be focused on right now.
Okay, thank you, sir. So that should be the most pressing issue right now. That's what they should be focusing on, instead of looking towards 2027.
Absolutely.
Wow. Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir. And we're already in June, as we all can see. June 12 is around the corner. We all know what June 12 is about. So as we celebrate June 12, how do you assess this current administration's performance on economic development? And what recommendations would you make for improvement?
I will begin by congratulating the president on his 2 years anniversary. It's 2 years since he came into power. Okay. And I will first and foremost tell him, beware of who you're listening to. He needs a major rejig of this administration. Okay. He has started with some bold and articulate policies. I've been in the oil industry, was one of those who believed that subsidy had to go, but unfortunately the way he implemented the subsidy removal, I would say, fall short of a disaster, and that's what brought the untold hardship and total dislocation of the economic systems and structure that we have. If it has been done better, it will have achieved better economic dividends to the country. Right now, the only ones who have benefited so far from the subsidy is the state governments, not me, not you, not the citizens. They're enjoying huge inflows every month in their FAC allocations, but those inflows are not translating to the dividends of economic fruits for the generality of Nigerians. So what I will say to the president, first and foremost, that you have had a team that have been with you for 2 years. And that team has not really delivered to the best of their abilities, either by virtue of the fact that they are inadequate, they don't have the capacity, or basically they just don't understand the main economic problems of Nigeria or Nigerians. So you need to reject it and bring people. There are Nigerians all over the world, from the US to the UK, even in Nigeria, who can help you pull Nigeria out of these doldrums. People are suffering, and the president needs to be told by Nigerians that people are suffering. The economic hardship in the country is just unbelievable. The cost of fuel has gone up. The cost of electricity has gone up. People cannot transport goods and services from one end of the country to the other. People can't bring their farms into the city centers to sell them. So people are suffering. And I'll say to Mr. President, please look inwards and see where you can find better talents to help this country. The FCT, you can see the performance of the Federal Capital Territory Minister. You don't need to be told. Exactly. Mr. Wike does not need to sell himself. He does not need to beat drums. He does not need posters. You can drive into the Federal Capital Territory and you can feel the impact of governance.
That's true.
And that's how it should be. So, Mr. President, I'm asking you, I'm pleading with you on behalf of Nigerians, do better. Reject this cabinet. Remove those who cannot take us to the promised land. Nigeria it has abundance of talents. Exactly. Economically, we have some of the most brilliant minds all over the world. That bring them, tap them, bring them home. Let them help you pull this country out of where we are. We are suffering.
Thank you, sir.
We are suffering.
Thank you, sir. So, would you say, is it too late for him to change his administration, or he has to wait after 2 years?
I don't think it's too early. I don't think it's never too early. It's never too early. I think, but the earlier the better. He has run half of the relay race, and the scorecard on members of his cabinet very low. Many of them cannot look Nigerians in the face and pound their chest and say they have done well, because when you do well, like I said, you don't need to pound drums and beat drums and dance in the streets and put banners all over the city and all over the country. It reflects on the people. You can see the smiles on those that you govern. Visit Burkina Faso. As short a period as that young man has been there. As you arrive in Burkina Faso, nobody will tell you the president is doing well. Nobody will tell you that the people appreciate the governance that they have in the country. So you don't need to beat drums. You don't need to sing praises for anybody to hail you or for you to do well. If you do well, Nigerians will appreciate you for what you've done. And that's what I think. I think that he needs to reject the cabinet. He needs to bring in better, more brilliant economists to help him and pull Nigeria out of the situation that we are.
Yeah, so where do you see the youths in all of this? What role do you think the youths can play in this current administration? And how well do you think they can play this role?
The youths actually comprise of a huge population of Nigeria. Their votes always count. If you use the labor obedient movement as a yardstick for measurement, you can tell what the youths can do when they stand up.
Exactly.
So I think the youths of Nigeria need to speak out, needs to come together. They need to show their content or discontent for what is happening. They need to also come out and tell the government where they are not doing well. Their voices need to be heard in the rural communities, in the city centers, the corridors of power. The youths need to be more proactive. They need to show themselves. They must also find ways to create their own enabling economic environments. They can employ themselves. They can do things for themselves. They must not always wait for government for handouts or to do this or to do that. The youths can create youth employment to reduce youth unemployment. So there's so much the youths can do. And also, they can drive the engine of success in a country like this. Like I said, our youth population is huge and is growing every day. So their impact on governance, their impact on an administration, their impact on the growth and development of a country is a lot and can be a lot, and can help pull Nigeria out of this doldrum. Look at the fintechs, mostly youths that are running the fintechs. Music industry, mostly youths. Nollywood, mostly youths. And these are industries that honestly, if well targeted and harnessed economically, can help pull Nigeria out of where we are today. And again, I'll say to the president and the administration, target your youths, and you'll be surprised at the level of...
Make the best use
Absolutely.
of the youth.
Thank you so much for that.
Thank you. So would you also say the diverse cultural heritage plays a role in how the nation is being governed?
Without a doubt, without a doubt. Unfortunately, our political elites have taken advantage of it to disadvantage all of us. Part of our greatest strength is our cultural heritage. I've had the opportunity to travel all over the country, from Sokoto to Kebbi to all over both north and southern Nigeria. And the diversity in our cultures is a strength, not a disadvantage.
So we thank you so much for your wealth of knowledge on this topic. We'll hope to see you next time to get more, so that we, the citizens, can benefit from your wealth of knowledge and impact it in our daily lives. And I think if we do that, the nation too will grow.
Thank you very much for having me, and I look forward to seeing you again.
You're welcome,
Thank
sir.
you so much.
We've come to the end of today's program, and we hope today's topic was insightful. Keep a date with us as we bring our next guest. Bye for now.